For centuries, the Galactic Concordance had a word for humanity: primitive. It wasn't an insult, just a classification. We had no psychic network, no quantum hive mind, no orbital rings. We still used combustion engines, argued over borders, and our ships were bulky, slow, and relied on what they called crude propellants. To them, we were loud, divided, and technologically clumsy, a species to be watched, tolerated, and sometimes even mocked. Then, the Vraxian Dominion arrived. The Vraxians weren't primitive. They were ancient, a terrifying force that consumed entire star systems. Their ships folded space. Their soldiers were bioengineered killing machines. Worlds that resisted weren't conquered, they were erased. The Concordance sent its finest fleets, and they were shattered like glass. The war reached our solar system, and the Concordance sent a final message: evacuate. Do not engage. You cannot win. Humanity's response was broadcast across every known channel. Understood. We'll handle it. The Council saw it as denial, the last gasp of a primitive species. When the Vraxian fleet arrived, their scans confirmed their beliefs: a moon base, a few old defense platforms, and a politically fractured planet. Primitive, they advanced, confident in their superiority. And then, the sky moved. What the Concordance had called communication clutter was something else entirely. Every satellite, every decommissioned probe, every piece of orbital junk larger than a fist, all networked, all weaponized. Earth activated Project Kessler. Thousands of objects changed course, creating a storm of hypervelocity shrapnel. Not energy weapons, just simple, brutal physics. At orbital speeds, a single bolt hits like a missile. The Vraxians lost 12 ships before their shields could even adapt. They had never met a civilization willing to turn its own sky into a weapon. The second wave came, shields adjusted. That's when the moon fired. Our lunar research base concealed mass drivers kilometers long. They fired tungsten rods at a fraction of light speed. No energy signature to detect, just pure, devastating impact. A Vraxian command ship crumpled like foil. Frustrated, the Dominion decided to strike the planet directly. And that's when they met humanity's true strength: adaptation. We didn't fight as one unified army, we fought as thousands. Old missile silos fired on their ships. Civilian factories started churning out drones in hours. Hackers, once considered criminals, became our digital warriors, injecting chaos and unpredictability into Vraxian systems. Their communications failed, their navigation glitched. They couldn't counter one strategy, because there wasn't one. Just billions of problem solvers with one shared goal: survive. The ground war was brutal. Cities fell, and oceans boiled, but every landing zone became a death trap. We used our own terrain, our weather, our infrastructure against them. When their bio-titans breached New Shanghai, they were met by construction mechs, machines built to raise skyscrapers, now charging into battle with industrial plasma cutters and using cargo haulers as battering rams. The Concordance watched in shock as a primitive species turned its entire civilization into an army. On the 10th day, the Vraxian flagship prepared to sterilize the planet. As its main weapon charged, it received a transmission from outside the system. Human ships, hundreds of them, they hadn't fled in panic as the Concordance believed. They had left weeks ago, predicting the Vraxian supply lines and fallback routes. Our fleets had been waiting in ambush. The flagship called for reinforcements, but its supply chain was gone. Its retreat was mined, its flanks were collapsing. For the first time in recorded history, the Vraxians were surrounded. The flagship fired its weapon, but it never reached full power. A final tungsten rod from the moon pierced its reactor. The explosion lit up half of Earth. When the light faded, the Dominion fleet was in ruins. In the aftermath, the Concordance updated our classification. No longer primitive, the new designation read: strategically unpredictable, planetary defense priority, maximum. When asked how a divided species could defeat a superpower, a human diplomat smiled and said, "You thought we were primitive because we hadn't unified. We haven't unified because we practice, and for the first time, across the galaxy, no one was laughing at humanity anymore. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe for more.